Save your seat. Oh, you don't have to.
Watch something right there.
It's hard to
What's up? I want to get something. Just a little humor. Come on, don't look so. Yeah, you don't want to go outside. I know.
Oh, nothing. Or I can do this, I can do this and find it on the table. I'm just gonna lay on the table. Whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. And go the red lights, yeah.
That's you.
It's on. It's on.
Yeah, you call it. Have a good one now. Underway. Okay, underway.
Send me up. Your son?
Yeah.
They are.
Okay,
There you go, exactly.
okay, well, close it, okay.
It's like a John.
Here, one more. I am a mom, I have no sense of that.
Oh, you were smart, you came in the back. No, I got my bugler.
Goodness.
And so, how are you? Oh my gosh. So get a couple more seats. Yeah, chair. I know, yeah. Is to sit up front. Two more veterans. Two more veterans. Any veterans want to sit up front? Those are the expensive seats. No. Yeah, if we can get a couple of veterans just to use up all the seating. Here.
Yeah, I know.
Two more seats up front. Going once, going twice. Highest bidder?
That's right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, folks. I guess, Mark, if you want to sit there for now, just to. I'm funny. Where do my seats go?
5 seconds.
Okay. All right, so start? Sure. Okay. Got it.
We're gonna start with the.
We should, right?
Yes.
National anthem. Who fetch first? Okay. Hey, thank you all for being here. We decided to do this inside for obvious reasons. And so I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the scouts for so we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could all follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And this is being live streamed on YouTube. So thanks to Sean. I think he's here somewhere, probably back there. Yeah, so it's going to be on YouTube. So if anyone wants to watch it afterwards or share with your friends and neighbors. Okay, so I'd like to thank the Kids Community Club for their bicycle parade this morning. For their bravery in bicycling through the cold and the snowflakes. And next we'll start with, well, first let me do some introductions. So here with us from our town board are Mary Shaw, Andrea Rendo, Rich Sclarin. I'm your town supervisor, Tony Gonzalez. And we have John Lemke, Chair of our Veterans Advisory Committee. And he's on the county, Veterans Advisory Committee, correct, yes. And we have our county legislator, Erica Pierce. And also the amazing receiver of taxes, Deidre Casper. We had Pete Harcum, he came this morning, so thank you, Pete, for joining us for breakfast. We did have Mike Lawler was gonna come, but he didn't show up, but he was supposed to be here. But thanks everyone for coming out. So we'll start with the next on the agenda is Heather Lackey with the national anthem.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land?
Hey, thank you, Heather. That was amazing as always. So I'm gonna say a few words. When I was writing this last night, it was late, it was after our town board meeting. But I had 2 pages, but then I said, it's gonna be real cold, let me reduce it to 1 page. But we were indoors, but anyway. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today as we gather in the heart of our community to honor the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. It's a privilege to stand before you on this Veterans Day, a day set aside to recognize courage, sacrifice, and unwavering devotion to country. Veterans Day is not just a date on the calendar, it's a living reminder of the price paid for the freedoms we sometimes take for granted. Every right we exercise, every opportunity we pursue exists because at some point, a veteran stood ready to defend it. 1 week ago, we had an election. Our ability to vote and select your leaders and government representatives is because of our veterans. Your ability to stand here in the townhouse is because of our veterans. So as we reflect on this Veterans Day, let us remember that gratitude is more than a feeling, it is a responsibility. May we live each day worthy of the sacrifices made on our behalf, and may we continue to build a community and a nation that our veterans can be proud to have defended. To all who have served and to the families who have stood beside them, we thank you, we honor you, and we salute you. God bless our veterans. Next, I'd like to introduce John Lemke, our Lewisboro Veterans Advisory Committee Chair.
Well, welcome everybody. And welcome veterans, first responders, supporters of our veterans, and the mothers, fathers of our currently serving and future vets. and the amazing young people in our community, the Scouts, and of course, the Kids Community Club. Thank you all, and welcome all. After the ceremony, please join us. We have the Lions Club is cooking lunch again, and we're doing a lot on the fly today. I don't know where you'll eat it, but the tables will be back.
We'll have the tables back in here. So,
Yeah. So it'll be very similar, but indoors and warm. Hey, let's begin with the roll call. All U.S. Marines, raise your hand. Yes. Yesterday was the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps, U.S. Marine Corps. So we thank you all, gentlemen. And I just not to point anybody out, but our newest veteran, Ben Walken, is here. We met him a month ago. Iraqi with U.S. Navy. Oh, thank you. Oh, Gene, yes. And Gene is our World War II vet, 100 years old. U.S. Coast Guard.
Where's Dave?
Where's the chief?
Chief's outside.
Chief's outside. They don't mind the cold. U.S. Air Force. I'd like to mention that earlier today we had 101-year-old Quentin Nicastro from the Army Air Corps back then, and flew B-17s out of England through 30 missions, and he was here to talk to a number of us. And of course, last, the U.S. Army. Thank you all. And I want to take a moment to recognize our first responders. Our committee has established an initiative to ensure our first responders receive the same thanks and recognition that veterans do. Our first responders are on active duty all the time. They're on every day that they work or volunteer. Just 2 weeks ago, on October 28th, we observed National First Responders Day. I don't know if anybody knew about it, but we recognize the first responders, and we hope maybe next year we'll have a ceremony like this on October 28th. They deserve it. So, you're a first responder. Please raise your hand. Active, retired, fire department, police department, first vets, nursing, doctors, 911 operators. Everybody's included. Thank you. Okay, turn your attention to the table. We were going to be outside table, but my table consists of 2 donation boxes. So take a good look at those. They're pretty empty right now. We're splitting today's donations with an Eagle Scout from Vista Scout Troop, Alex Caraxis, and he's doing an Eagle project to restore and map veteran graves at the Bex Hill Cemetery. So please help us out. He's pretty much halfway done, I think. And we've got 14 cemeteries in this town, so I'm hoping that this catches on to other scouts and other students. 16. Oh, sorry. I think 2 are active. I'll bring the historian. No, I don't have my benefit information here. Also, there's a table outside, and there's a board here with veteran pins that Mark made up, and we want all veterans to pick out their pin. And if you don't have one, we have scouts that are making them right now. There he is. See him? I got mine on. So, yeah, go to him and we'll make him. This is for everyone else. Look for these buttons. And when you see one, say hi, thank you, or welcome home. We'll appreciate it. All right, at this time, I'd like to introduce our Lewisboro town historian, Maureen Coles, who knows everything about this town and quite possibly a few stories about your own families. Maureen will share the history of our town's early veterans. Thank you.
Okay, that's kind of what I wrote about.
Oh, good.
All right, welcome, everybody. I expected to be outside in the cold and the wind. This is a little better.
So it's a short speech.
Oh, can I do all three? Lewisboro men and women have long answered the call to serve our country from the French and Indian War in 1759, when militiaman David Pardee participated with British General James Wolfe's campaign on the storming of Quebec, all the way to the present day. In 1927, South Salem historian Theodore Van Noorden wrote, "At every crisis, there has been a response beyond which might be justified from our small rural community." In his book, South Salem Soldiers and Sailors, Mr. Van Noorden reflected on the love of country that has characterized our people throughout 2 centuries. This book is available at the library and in my office. On a day when we gather to honor the memories of lives lost and to honor our living veterans, a mystery remains. Where are the 2 missing Town of Lewisboro honor rolls? These were erected in the 1940s. A wooden memorial listing all the names of those Lewisboro men and women who served during World War II stood opposite Flagpole Corner at the intersection of Spring and Main Streets. It was on the Presbyterian Church property. There are still 2 World War II memorials standing, one at the Golden Bridge Fire Department and one at the Lake Kitchewan Beach. These are commemorating the veterans from those hamlets, but the large white memorials that stood in Cross River and South Salem have disappeared. It is hard to believe that these testimonials were just taken down and destroyed, but searches of the town office basements all over town, from Cross River, Cyrus Russell to Onatru to downstairs here, we found nothing but cobwebs and spiders. To summarize Lewisboro's response, war by war, starting in 1776, the Revolutionary War sent 54 townsmen to battle, 45 from South Salem, the rest were from Cross River, Vista, and Wacabuck. Golden Bridge was not part of our town at that point. It was still part of Van Cortlandt Manor. The names of Benedict, Boughton, Gilbert, Keeler, and Meade are all prominent, and they're all on names of roads that you'll find as you drive around town. The most famous figure was David Williams, who was one of the trio that captured Major John Andre, co-conspirator with Benedict Arnold to get the plans for West Point. Even the War of 1812 saw 13 Lewisboro militiamen take part. The Civil War sent 75 Lewisboro men off to fight. The Rusco family of Vista sent the most, 10 brothers, fathers, and cousins, plus 2 brothers-in-law. And as far as I know, they all returned. Several of our soldiers, though, died in Southern prisons, and some, like John Benedict Lawrence and his nephew George P. Lawrence, succumbed to illness and died in hospital. George's gravestone over there in the South Salem Cemetery, across from the Episcopalian Church, his gravestone reads, "Dulce est pro patria mori," which means how sweet it is to die for the love of one's country. 54 men and 1 woman from town served in the Great War, including Dr. Pierce Bailey, who was the owner of 4 Winds, Cyrus Russell of Cross River, who became one of our town supervisors, and John Rowley of Golden's Bridge. Marie Seeley was the sole woman who served, and she served in the Navy. World War II called more than 100 men and women to enlist to fight for a lasting world peace. One was Katie Haug, who served in the Army Motor Transport Division, and after her return to civilian life, served as a bus driver for the Katona Lewisboro School District. And she also was our tax receiver for a good many years. We remember the recent losses of Daniel Sand and Waldy Gullen, and we honor two of Lewisboro's living World War II veterans, Eugene Tadaldi, who's sitting here right front and center, and Quentin Nicastro, who John spoke about just before. An unknown number of Lewisboro residents served in Korea in the early 1950s. In the 1960s and 70s, townspeople served in Vietnam, and we have some of those veterans here today. Doc Brady, for one, Bill Hamilton, Kevin O'Sullivan, and I can't forget my good buddy from Vista, Ron Egloff. I wouldn't know anything about Lake Kitchewan if it weren't for my buddy Ron. 4 who lost their lives in Vietnam are named on the plaque next to Veterans Flagpole outside. Numbers are not available for Lewisboro residents who served in the first Gulf War in the 1990s and in other 9/11 Gulf Wars, including Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. Lewisboro police officer Glenn Zemanek is one of these. Besides those just mentioned, there have been other deployments of U.S. military forces where military lives have been lost, and especially including the October 23rd, 1983 terrorist attack on the Marine headquarters in Beirut, Lebanon, in which Marine Corporal James Jakowski was killed. He was from South Salem. There is now a section of Route 35 on Firehouse Hill that passes Jamie's childhood home. Next time you drive past John Jay High School, you will be driving along the John Jay Veterans Memorial Highway, honoring the John Jay graduates. As we gather today in our townhouse, on a day first conceived to remember the signing of an agreement to end the war, to end all wars, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, it was called Armistice Day, to honor the veterans of that war. We now celebrate the veterans from all the wars and from too many conflicts. For that reason, in 1954, President Eisenhower renamed the day Veterans Day. So take some time today to remember your favorite veterans and pray that our nation continues on a peaceful path.
Thank you, Maureen. Boy, it's nice to be in here, isn't it? The picture's being outside right now.
Yeah.
All right, now it's my honor to introduce my Navy veteran partner and our 2024 Veteran of the Year, Mark Fibbert. And Mark has done an incredible job contacting, recording our currently serving military personnel, our future veterans who deserve our support right now while they are still serving. And Mark has the board and has a few more to add to it. Mark?
Sorry, we're kind of on the fly. Is John, do that this way? A little elevation here. Let's take this off. There we go. What's that? No, wind, it works.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten bigger.
Outside, in case anything goes wrong.
Want to tilt it a little bit, close it down.
Sure. Sure. There you go. Good for everybody. Well, thanks, John. Before I begin, I want to thank my scout assistant here.
Yeah.
Theo, right, Theo Warner.
Yep.
You're gonna get it right, so appreciate it. What? Thank Will and the other fellow here, I haven't got his name, doing the badges, so thank you, and thank Adam doing the camera work here, so scouts make a difference. So 2 years ago, we started this board, we introduced and recognized 15 people from our community who were serving full-time in our military, our country's military. Profiles of each one were placed on a display board we call the currently serving board. And is permanently displayed in our town hall for all to see when it's not in use, usually on one of these walls right here. We acknowledged then that we may not have identified all that were serving full-time in uniform, but we would update this board as new information came to us. Accordingly, last year, we became aware of and therefore added and presented 5 more members, bringing our total from 15 to 20 members currently serving on our behalf. This year, thanks to help from those who saw this board last year, we've been able to track down 4 more community members and to add them and recognize them today. So to reiterate that thought, if you're aware of anyone from our community who's serving on active duty that we don't know about, please see me or John afterwards. We'll get them on the board. Seems to be expanding. We have quite a few in the pipeline, including the academies, for instance, ROTC, and just people who are joining up. So let me know about them. But it's getting big. So we actually had to get a bigger display board too, because we maxed out the other one. So anyway, with that, I hope the following remarks will give you a full and impactful sense of this special group of people from and representing our Lewisboro community. It's an impressive group. Let me introduce them to you, mentioning each briefly with any noteworthy headlines of their stories. Hopefully you'll know some of them. So who are our future veterans? First on our board is Yona Adler, U.S. Marine Corps. You want to pull that, Tony? No. Pull that right there. Hand it over to this fellow here. Okay. We'll get this going. Last year it was Lance Corporal Adler. This year, after promotion into what are known as the non-commissioned officer ranks, it's Corporal Adler. So congratulations, Yona. Last year he was based in Cherry Point, North Carolina. Now he and the jets he fixes are aboard the amphibious assault ship, the USS Iwo Jima, and that ship is presently sailing in the Caribbean Sea. You may have heard about that. Petty Officer Second Class Marine Enforcement Specialist Owen Algier. Petty Officer Algier has served at sea, at shore, conducting numerous maritime inspections, interdictions, and vessel boardings up and down the East Coast and Alaska. While in Alaska, he appeared on the popular TV show The Deadliest Catch. We knew. He's currently stationed in North Carolina, where he is recognized as the Sector North Carolina Enlisted Person of the Quarter for excellence in training, operations, and partnering. Congrats to Olin. Hospitalman Zachary Amerling, U.S. Navy. When Mr. Amerling first joined this board a year ago, he just graduated from basic training, where he was one of only 6 sailors out of 800 graduates to receive the Navy League of the United States Outstanding Recruit Award. After that, he distinguished himself once again by graduating with honors from the Navy's Hospital Corpsman School. He's now a crew member of the USNS Comfort, based out of Norfolk, Virginia. The Comfort is one of 2 hospital ships that the Navy operates. Gas turbine technician, Petty Officer Third Class Carlo Chong, U.S. Navy. Stationed on a guided missile destroyer based out of Japan and has sailed to many parts of the Western Pacific. Petty Officer Chong, like his friend Yona, is also a non-commissioned officer, and with that status, his role and responsibilities have increased to include work center supervisor and training petty officer for his ship. He was recently awarded the Navy Good Conduct Medal to mark completion of 3 successful years of active duty service. Good going, Carlo. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Chinque, U.S. Coast Guard. A helicopter pilot for 11 years, Officer Chinque is the longest serving member on our board. He's also the most senior pilot flying out of Barbers Point, Hawaii. Though based in Hawaii, Mr. Chinque has done temporary deployments to the South China Sea as well. First Lieutenant Nikolai Degenhardt, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Degenhardt is an officer in the 27th Infantry Regiment known as the Wolfhounds. And they're based in Hawaii. He continues to serve as a platoon leader of 36 soldiers. Lieutenant Bridget Deavy, U.S. Navy. An information officer, Lieutenant Deavy, has been deployed twice on aircraft carriers before becoming an instructor at the Information Warfare Training Command in Virginia Beach. It's a mouthful. She recently got new orders and is now working in Fort Meade, Maryland, about midway between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Lieutenant Dennis Deavy, U.S. Navy. Dennis, who graduated from Annapolis 1 year ahead of his sister Bridget, served on a guided missile destroyer before taking his current shore assignment at the Joint Task Force headquarters on cyber operations in Washington, D.C. He continues to work in that role as an applied computer scientist. Alexandra Edelman, U.S. Marine Corps, is the first of the 4 to debut on our board this year. A 2021 John Jay graduate, Ms. Edelman became a second lieutenant of the Marine Corps upon graduating from the U.S. Naval Academy this past May. She is scheduled to begin flight school in December to become a Marine aviator and would become the 5th person on this board to learn to fly for our country. Specialist Alec James Gonzalez, Utah Army National Guard, parachute rigger and packer. He's been serving for about 3.5 years. Specialist Gonzalez graduated from the U.S. Army Air Assault School this past year, where the pass rate is only 50%. That course is known as the toughest 10 days in the Army, right? Good work, AJ. And when the current federal shutdown ends, we expect Specialist Gonzalez to become Sergeant Gonzalez. And for the Boy Scouts here today, AJ is one of 2 Eagle Scouts on our currently serving board. And for the rest of us here, his father occupies the town supervisor's office.
I just want to thank Mark. He surprised me with a button with my son's picture. So thank you.
We got a few of those. We'll get that in a second. Captain Jordan Johnson Kelly, U.S. Army, a student athlete to John Jay High School in West Point. She was the only chemical engineering major in her class of 900 cadets. Having first served as a platoon leader for over 100 soldiers, she was last reported serving as a brigade combat engineer. Lieutenant Liam Kelly, U.S. Navy. Should be right there.
Oh, where's the missed one?
That's all right. Yeah, I got that. You're better. My wife when I forget. Liam Kelly, U.S. Navy. After serving alongside Petty Officer Chong on the USS Howard, Lieutenant Liam Kelly now serves as an anti-terror officer aboard the amphibious support ship, the USS Mesa Verde, out of Norfolk, Virginia. Its role is to carry and launch landing craft for U.S. Marine Corps assaults. First Lieutenant Terrence Kelly, U.S. Army. He is a graduate of the U.S. Army Ranger School, one of the most selective and respected units in the Army. He was promoted to first lieutenant over the last year, now stationed in Fort Wainwright, Alaska. So he's a little bit colder than we are right now. Both he and his older brother Liam are the son of former town council member Colonel Frank Kelly, U.S. Army retired. 6 days ago, I became aware of another Coast Guardsman, Jack Lawton. After graduating from John Jay High School in 2022, Mr. Lawton graduated from the Citadel Military College of South Carolina this spring, just 3 years after graduating from high school. He ultimately decided to enlist in the Coast Guard, began his basic training in Cape May, New Jersey, mere weeks ago in October. He's there and we're here. Good for him. Glad to be not there. Expected to complete boot camp in December, Seaman recruit Lawton will be assigned a general role somewhere in the fleet before applying to attend formal training as a bosun's mate. And Jack's father, a bosun's mate himself, holds the most senior enlisted rank of Master Chief Petty Officer and serving on active duty himself right now, John Quincy Lawton. Patrick Murphy, U.S. Army, also joins our board this year. The 2021 Harvey School grad, Mr. Murphy also graduated from Gettysburg College as an ROTC student in the Blue Mountain Battalion this past spring. Upon graduation, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant. He's currently training to be a field artillery officer like John here at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Daniel Newberger, U.S. Space Force, we got them all. Formerly an Army officer, Mr. Newberger was promoted to captain this year. Though stationed in Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs, he spent the first part of this year in Italy. Nice vacation, I guess. You can get it. He commands a group involved in electronic warfare training. You'll probably hear a theme along those lines throughout here. Kathleen Newman, U.S. Army, a medevac helicopter pilot. Like Mr. Newberger, Ms. Newman was also promoted to captain. Congratulations to both for their promotions. A year ago, she was stationed at Camp Humphreys in South Korea. Now she is on the medevac support staff at Fort Irwin, California, a combat training facility located in the Mojave Desert, just northeast of Los Angeles. Captain Newman, a former Katona Bedford Volunteer Ambulance Corps member, comes from a family of veterans. Her father, Tom, carved out a 20-year career in the Army. and 3 of her 4 siblings served in the Army or the Army National Guard. Lieutenant Commander Jacqueline Penachet, U.S. Navy. After graduating the top 5% of her class at Annapolis, Commander Penachet was one of the first 13 women to be stationed aboard a nuclear submarine. She recently completed a short assignment in the office that places nuclear submarine officers throughout the fleet. However, having served aboard 3 different submarines and roles in increasing responsibilities, we await word for her next assignment. She's going to be rotating probably back to the submarines. I'm anxious to hear about that. Second Lieutenant Tyler Petchek, U.S. Army. Having been trained in the basics of helicopter flying at Fort Rucker, Alabama, Mr. Petchek performed so well that he got his first choice as to what helicopter he's actually going to be trained on specifically. That is the AH-64 Apache attack helicopter. Upon completion of that training, he'll go to his first choice duty station in Fort Carson, Colorado. Tyler, like a few others on this board, get another theme, were likely inspired by family members who also served. In this case, that might have been his father, Clark, who's the chairman of the Bedford Veterans Advisory Committee, the John of Bedford, if you will, and or his mother, Michelle, who is a Navy member. Specialist Elijah Rust, U.S. Army. Graduate of San Diego State University, Mr. Rust enlisted in the Army and was assigned to Fort Lewisboro, Tacoma, Washington. Now he's been reassigned to duty at Fort Meade, Maryland, the second on our board to work there with Bridget Deaving. His awareness of taking a career step in the military likely came from his father, Chris, who was a career officer in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserves. Lieutenant J.G. Zachary Schmidt, U.S. Navy, our final new addition to this year. Lieutenant Schmidt is a 2018 graduate of John Jay High School, 2022 grad of SUNY New York Maritime College. At SUNY Maritime, he was also a member of the New York City Navy Reserve Officer Training Program, NROTC, and was commissioned as an ensign upon graduation. Since 2022, he's been a crew member of the USS Boxer, another amphibious assault ship similar to the Iwo Jima that I just mentioned with Mr. Adler. The Boxer is based out of San Diego. The surface warfare officer, Mr. Schmidt, served as a main propulsion division officer before moving on to his current role as combat electronics division officer. Gets around on this show. First Lieutenant William J. Trotta, U.S. Army. With over 13 years of service, Billy, as he's known to some of us here, becomes the second longest serving member of this board. Serving as an Army Ranger, one of the Army's elite units, as I mentioned before, for over 10 years, Mr. Trotta has been deployed to several hotspots, twice to Afghanistan, then to Korea, Iraq, and then twice to Syria. In 2022, he received the commission as an officer and has been a medical operations officer since then with the Ranger Regiment. Quite accomplished. Matthew Waldman, U.S. Air Force. We got an Air Force fellow. Right? Going by the nickname Hijack, Captain Waldman is our second Eagle Scout, by the way. He is stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and has been approved to become Major Waldman early next year, especially now that the government has started to work again. He will shift gears to become a flight instructor for training new B-2 pilots. We call those on our currently serving board our future veterans. When they complete their active service, we retire them from our board and welcome them into the community of veterans. The last person to recognize today makes that transition. Charles Hastings, U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Corporal Hastings completed his 4-year commitment a few months ago. He was a specialist in IT work, receiving numerous achievement awards for noteworthy performance in those duties. Facing Camp Pendleton throughout his career, Mr. Hastings is now working full-time in the Southern California computer industry. He's also pursuing a bachelor's degree at the University of Maryland. Congratulations, Charlie. Job well done. Best of luck to you in your civilian career. That completes the update of our currently serving board, reflecting a total of today of 23 sons and daughters from our community, also all serving on active duty and one who just completed his service, as I mentioned. I'd like to ask of all those today who are here with family members serving in active duty of our country, please raise your hands. What we got? Okay. Absolutely no show on our board today. I and the rest of us thank you too for your support and guidance you've given those to those you love. And do not serve on our clock to be happy.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. That that's quite an impressive crew, and I find it to be the heart of what we want to do in the vet committee is just take care of our currently serving. I think it was George Washington said that our future military will be watching to see how we treat our current military or current veterans. And unfortunately, not like Vietnam, where one generation abandoned a whole generation of veterans. Also, unfortunately, not all soldiers and sailors make it home. But today we celebrate and we live. There are several names from on the John Jay High School memorial outside that gave their lives in Vietnam, Beirut, um, and Panama. And we want to remember those that didn't make it back. So please stand, uncover, place your hand over your heart, or salute if you're a vet. And Canon Case will play taps through the door. Thank you. Thank you. Be seated. As we bring this ceremony to a close, I stand before you not as someone deeply grateful, but also a fellow veteran, someone who knows in a small way the weight of the uniform and the pride that comes with serving this great nation. Today we have gathered to honor all who have worn that uniform. And to our Vietnam veterans, I want to say something that should have been said loudly and clearly so many years ago. Welcome home. You carried out your duty with courage and honor, even when your country struggled to find its voice in gratitude. Please know this, you have never been forgotten by your brothers and sisters in arms, nor by this generation of veterans who walk the path you helped pave. Your strength, your resilience, and your example continue to guide us. To all veterans from every era, every branch, every corner of this great nation, thank you for your legacy that you've built and the freedom you've protected. Your service reminds us all about people, ordinary Americans who choose to do ordinary things, extraordinary things. As we leave here today, may we carry forward that same spirit of service by supporting our veterans and first responders, by caring for their families, by living each day in a way that honors their sacrifice. May God bless all who have served. May God bless their families. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you all. Thank you. So now we have the Lions Club.
Yeah, so we're gonna clear out the room and it'll take us 2 minutes to set up the tables and then you can all come back in again. And burgers will be served. Burgers and hot dogs, and I think there's some other goodies out there. Thank you.
Good day, Lauren.
Yeah.
Your mom or dad?
So always the right time to donate.
Yeah, that'll.
Yeah, like, we help each other.